Everything started when I felt someone's following me. Again and again. And then one morning this message. I didn't know who, I didn't know what, but I knew I have to get prepared. I was 100% ready for whatever was expecting me. Okay, maybe 80% at least. The next day I got picked up. The taxi didn't just take me to the airport, he also brought me directly to a private jet. To take me to a place I didn't know. Who's hiding behind all this? And where do they take me? After 2.5 hours of flight we've arrived. Where they took me, who it was, and why it seems that this man is trying to kill me. Now!
Well, it's more the unexpected that expected me here in Spain, in Zaragoza, where they took me to test the all-new Volkswagen Touareg in its third generation. I'm Chris at Carmania here, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoy the video, like the video and share it. It's a lot that we gonna discover today driving this car, more with a focus on driving it than showing the exterior maybe, because as you can see it's covered. But I recommend you to pay a visit to my channel on the 23rd of March, where Carmania is going to be the first to show you the Volkswagen Touareg uncovered at its world premiere, from the interior, exterior. But today the focus on its driving behavior, what kind of engines do we have, and what's new about the Volkswagen Touareg, and there is a lot to talk about. You can't see that much, but I'm trying to describe what I could see yesterday when they were showing the Touaregs to us in a small circle uncovered. It's top secret now. This front part, so the headlights with the grille, are one part, so everything is melted together. It's a chrome grille. You can also get it as a black line, and these are the brightest LEDs on the market right now, just like Volkswagen says. From the side view, so this is the diesel version. We also gonna drive the petrol version. From the side view, it's a bit like the Cherokee SRT8, which is good because that shows that the car has a sporty attitude from the looks. The back view again is totally different. It's a combination between Porsche Cayenne and Audi Q7, but a bit more elegant than the Audi Q7 because it doesn't seem to be a monster. It's smaller, and it is actually smaller because it has a basis on a smaller platform, but more about that later. Let's check out the boot space, which has now 810 litres, so family holiday, no problem. So I also easily fit in here. I'm 6'2" and I easily fit in that boot. So that's nice to know. And now let's check out the car from the interior and explain to you what's new. There are packages available just like Elegance and Atmosphere, and unfortunately I can't show you the dashboard. I'm really sorry for that. You have to wait until the 23rd of March, just like already mentioned, where you should pay a visit to Carmania again, where I'm going to be showing everything about the car at the world premiere. But now I tell you all the new features about this car. Starting with the packages, Elegance and Atmosphere. Elegance is a package more for cold colors and cold materials, just like aluminium, and Atmosphere has warm colors, warm ambilites and wooden trims, and no aluminium. So that's the difference. Intuitive user's comfort is where Volkswagen puts a focus on. So that means you can personalize everything to the maximum, set everything just like you want it, and have everything that you need on the dash, and everything that you don't need you can have it on the second page, on the third page, just like, you know, maybe from a smartphone where you can go to the left and to the right setting, or choosing the menus. It has the biggest digital landscape of screens right now available, with a 12.3-inch center dashboard, just like we know digital dashboards, but with some new functions, and a 15-inch main screen that has that somehow is oriented to the driver and just surrounds you. It's really a huge display, and both are melted together So it's really fantastic. It's really high resolution, or really sharp, really bright. So even if you've got some light coming through the windows, you can see and read everything perfectly. So it's a fantastic work what they did, especially with the setting possibilities. You can play so much around. I think you'd need about 4 or 5 hours to get to know that whole new system, even if you already know Volkswagen. Let's get over to the seats that we can show. The atmosphere package, as already mentioned, bright seats in that case. I'd take the darker ones just because you can already see the color of the jeans of the people sitting here on these seats. They're really comfortable. So we were driving 170 kilometers from the airport to the hotel, and I wasn't exhausted. I could have sat even for an additional 200-300 kilometers without a pause on these seats. It's really comfortable, but this is something that you expect from an SUV. And you have a massage function. If you order it from the option list, it's not standard, where you can choose between 4 different massage functions. It's really nice for longer trips maybe. And there is plenty of new features available, just like night vision. I don't have to explain what night vision is. And also finally a head-up display that's in the windscreen and not a panel rising out of the dash, just like we know from the Artin. So it's not the cheap solution, it's the more high-tech luxury solution, and it's really high resolutional display, or head-up display, and really sharp to read. And I felt kind of nice having the nav infos in the windscreen, where I don't need it to look down to the screens here or here.
Now I will drive both available engines, the petrol and the diesel. Details about the options and features we will do with the diesel. After having checked the diesel, we will put the focus on the difference between petrol and diesel.
We have 2 V6s right now available, a diesel and a petrol version. This is the diesel that we drive now. We're also going to be driving the V6 petrol version just to see the difference. The diesel comes along with 286 horsepower and the massive torque of 600 Newton meters. And the big question was, will there be a 4-cylinder? Because everyone's afraid of the downsizing, and I can tell you the good news, there is no downsizing. So there's not going to be a 4-cylinder version, because we have approximately 1,995 kilograms, so just slightly under the 2 tons border. And yes, the car is 100 kilograms lighter than the previous Touareg used to be, but still it's almost 2 tons, and these 2 tons have to be moved somehow. And if you regard the towable mass of 3.5 tons, so if you just plan to tow your boat or your horses, then you arrive easily at 5.5 tons, and 5.5 tons have to be managed somehow, and a 4-cylinder would be too much stained for this mission. So that's why it's the V6s, and this one here with its 600 Newton meters, I have to be honest, you can definitely feel the torque, and you can hear that it's a 6-cylinder, because it's not so high rev, exhausted, stained like a 4-cylinder might be. A hybrid version is also planned, and there Volkswagen isn't sure if it's going to be 4 or 6-cylinder, but they are planning with a 6-cylinder, of course. It's a lot better just to put the E engine together with a 6-cylinder instead of a 4-cylinder, because then we have come again to that point of the downsizing. But I think, just like it sounded to me, it's going to be a V6 with some additional E engine.
Dear V8 fans, Volkswagen told me that probably there also will be a V8 diesel in 2019. More torque, more fun. But more fun means more fuel. How much fuel does fit in this SUV?
We are talking about a tank capacity of 75 litres, optionally 90 litres. If you drive long distances, especially with the petrol version, of course it might be sensible to take the 90 litres. If you take the diesel version, you have the choice between 75 and 90 litres, and then also the tank for the AdBlue rises up to from 11 litres to 22 litres, so the double tank capacity of the AdBlue if you take the 90 litre tank. I'd always take a bigger tank if so available, because you automatically have a lot more range. If you drive the Volkswagen Touareg, you will immediately feel the dynamic all-wheel steering. up to 50 kilometers an hour, the rear wheels turn opposite to the front wheels, and that's because like this it's a lot easier to make maneuvers on tight parking spaces, maybe supermarkets parking space, so the car is more agile and doesn't need that much space to turn around.
The Touareg also surprises with an excellent air ride that you can set with the setting wheel, and
the air ride also has the function of adapting itself depending on how you drive and where you drive, and how that works I will explain now.
To explain it the easiest way, standing position is 0. If you start and drive up to 40 km an hour, the basic setting goes up to 25 mm higher. This lasts up to 70 km an hour. If you drive faster than 70, the car lowers itself back to 0. In the sport mode, it's minus 25 mm, so 25 mm lower than 0. If you drive 120 km an hour for more than 30 seconds, it also goes to minus 25 mm even in the normal mode. This means better driving and better aerodynamics. From 140 km an hour, it immediately goes down to minus 25 mm. And driving off-road, the air ride goes up to 70 mm, that you see now as the maximum, and goes back down to 25 mm if you drive off-road faster than 25 km an hour. And now let's get over to some special features.
One of the features is an active cruise control. Of course you can say now, well, an active cruise control, that's not really special. It's not, but this is, because it's a GPS-based active cruise control, so that means if you just set the active cruise control, the car knows how the road goes. And like this, it can adapt the speed to the circumstances of the road, how it goes. If there is a curve and you are too fast with your current speed, then it slows down the car automatically, because the active cruise control is GPS based and knows how the car or where the car drives, and that's really sensible additional feature.
Okay, but what if you'd like to switch to the sport mode and give full throttle?
This is a V6 diesel, normally having brutally ugly diesel sound, but here you can't hear anything. Listen. So the car is really well insulated, so that you can't hear it's a diesel, so you don't have that typical diesel nailing engine sound. Well done, Volkswagen. If you are a fan of sound, engine sound, audio sound, then you will be happy with the Dynaudio system that now the Touareg has. It's totally new. It's totally newly designed sound design, and it has really rich sound. The bass is perfect. It's really clear and creates the perfect atmosphere. But I can't put up the volume that much because the camera microphone can't face it. It's really loud if you turn it up. Good sound design.
So let's get back to physical aspects. But it's not just the power that was rising, also the size. 4.88 m instead of 4.80 m, so 8 cm longer, but the Touareg has a twin.
The Touareg shares its platform with 3 other SUVs, the Porsche Cayenne, the Bentley Bentayga and the Audi Q7. The Porsche Cayenne is the only one of these fantastic 4 which has the same wheelbase like the Touareg, because it's the smaller wheelbase. The Bentley Bentayga and the Audi Q7 have a little bit longer wheelbase, so they're a little bit bigger, but the car drives as it looks like. Agile, elegant and also fast.
When talking about fast, let's not only drive straights. We're in Spain. Curvy serpentines are calling.
This diesel makes brutal fun of driving it, because these 600 Newton meters really give you a punch driving in the sport mode, and it's agile and it's stable. Take a look at that. Damn it. That's it. You know, when accelerating, you can feel the mass, the weight of the car, but hitting it around the corners, you can't. So it really feels agile with that four-wheel steering. It's a lot more agile than you might expect it to be. You have to try it first. Everything saying in theory is totally different to the practical way of driving something. Take a look at that street. Luckily, it's a speed limit of 90 here. I don't know which car you need to drive 90 in these curves, but it's good for us because we can try it out, and we're driving between 80 and 100 kilometers an hour in the curves, and that's a huge fun factor, I tell you. 100 kilometers an hour, 110. Take a look at that. Damn it, it's so stable. It's just like driving on a railway. Of course, in these moments you shouldn't check the fuel consumption average.
By the way, the average was 10 litres hunting it uphill and slightly above 7 litres driving a normal way.
I'm not even sure if we try tomorrow the petrol version, if that makes that much fun just like the diesel does with this torque, because we're in the perfect range to have the maximum torque.
And it was just like I thought, the diesel makes a bit more fun, but the V6 petrol engine has also its advantages, just like the engine sound. Let's check it out.
Yes, sir. And the nice thing about it is that you don't feel that stained, exhausted four-cylinder. It's a V6, and this is something that you can feel. I had that, I don't want to call it bad experience, but a bit disappointing experience in the Volkswagen Arteon. That beautiful, huge, amazingly elegant car, not available with the V6. And now there is the V6, so maybe they can just put it into the Arteon, so it doesn't really feel like 2 tons. It's agile and it makes fun driving it. And if you accelerate, you can see the needle just jumping 100, 120, 130, 140, just like you expected from 340 horses, but still it's a smooth way of sporty driving and not that punch in your face. You know, an SUV with almost 2 tons with that size is not like a hot hatch with 340 horsepower. Of course you don't have that driving performance, but that's anyway not what the Touareg clients are looking for. They're looking for exactly what Volkswagen did here, a smooth driving, and in the sport mode you can always hear that the car is ready for the accelerator pedal being hidden. And the V6 has that smooth power engaging like we love it from a V6.
While my cameraman Alexander and me, and 2 engineers sitting on the back seats, were enjoying the V6 sound and the scenery, I asked myself,
if we can find Walter White somewhere here, because taking a look at that scenery reminds me of Breaking Bad, together with Jesse Pinkman and his white caravan cooking the meth. Walter! Walter! Jesse?
When we thought all the hope is lost, we found someone in the middle of nowhere who maybe knows where Walter is.
Can you see that man with the camouflage? Ask him if he just knows where Walter hides.
Do you know where Walter is?
¿Dónde está Walter?
Yeah.
¿Dónde está Walter? Parla italiano, signore?
No hablo.
Cerchiamo Walter White.
No sé lo que hay.
Cucina, methanol.
¿Dónde están?
Walter White.
A la niña, venga. Que no sé lo...
Buscamos Walter White. ¿Conoces? Walter White, Jesse Pinkman. ¿Conoces
Mira.
Walter White?
Carretera abajo, anda.
Ok, gracias. Gracias, muchas gracias.
Well, luckily we survived. And the rest of the second day, the V6 petrol version proved that of course a petrol version is always more emotional than a diesel. The sound is a lot better, even if you can't hear that much from the interior. And of course in the end, it's even faster. But The better fuel consumption average makes the diesel also attractive, and even if it's slower, it doesn't feel like it was slower. Where the diesel is averaging 10 litres, driving it fast uphill, the petrol version on the same road easily swallows about 14 litres. That's why I recommended the bigger tank. If then the R-Line package is available, I recommend you to take this. The uncovered version that was shown to us journalists looked amazing, as even the bumpers were white, just like the whole car. And this combined with huge 20-inch rims, well, it doesn't have to hide itself. The only thing that I like more about the petrol version from the exterior looks are the tailpipes. They're bigger and somehow more impressive.
I'd say time for a conclusion. Spain not just surprised me with its beautiful scenery, also with the meat-cutting wind that feels like -20 degrees, but of course mostly in the focus of the happenings, the brand new Volkswagen Touareg and third generation. And if someone asked me now which car I'd take, the diesel V6 or the petrol V6, I think I'm tending to the diesel, just because of that massive torque of 600 Newton meters. It's punchier. Somehow it makes more fun of driving it, even if the 340 horsepower petrol version, of course, on the paper is stronger. No doubts about that. But this one makes more fun. And you don't have to be afraid of the diesel issue nowadays, because it has the latest Euro 6 standard with AdBlue, so you can confidently drive around. We have the brightest LED in its class. Everyone claims that, but I convinced myself it's really amazingly bright. Different packages, chrome, black line. You can choose between the different packages, the new sportiness, the new roof line, that whole new cockpit design, and even the functionality of what you get offered now by that huge center display and the dashboard, the connectivity, how fluent it is, how well it works. So the Volkswagen designers and even the people taking care about that innovative cockpit, they really did a really good job. And the interior design is nice. You can select between the elegance or atmosphere package. So there's basically nothing negative to say about the Touareg and its third generation. Maybe the price will be something that might ruin your plans of getting yourself a new SUV starting slightly above 50,000 euros. Well, you have to have the money, and the more packages you get, the better the engines are, especially if you wait for the V8 diesel maybe, or for the hybrid version, of course, the more expensive it will be, maybe arriving at 95,000 euros easily. But besides that, I'm totally convinced, and I'd take the car instead of the flight home back to Munich. Thank you very much for having joined Carmania here in Spain, in Zaragoza. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to pay me a visit on the 23rd of March at the world premiere, just to see this automobile uncovered from the interior and exterior.